what does it mean? Where are we at?
What it means is they now have the right to sack him, Tony, and just points of interest.
Yep.
This will drag on. I'm sure he'll appeal. Secondly, he was offered $1 million to settle it. He rejected it. Now he gets nothing. That's hugely significant. Also, the three-person tribunal took just a couple of hours to settle on the decision. That's really significant. They saw something in that hearing that was overwhelmingly convinced them of his guilt. And a couple of other things. There will be submissions to the penalty, but the bottom line to all this, Tony, is we've seen one of the most significant moments of the century, sporting century in Australia, in that a powerhouse rugby union player who was, Australia's best player heading into the World Cup will be banished for the game, probably for good. It is a decision that will echo through the generations. It is a huge story. And if you think the bushfire is burning now, wait until you see the follow-up in the next few days.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're waiting for, obviously, what the punishment or the sanction will be, and then whether he appeals and it heads up in the federal court. And, this could drag on for months and months. A 22-hour hearing, and it was all settled. They came to this conclusion within less than a couple of hours.
Is the sanction not what the first penalty was, that his contract is torn up and his $4 million contract is no longer there, therefore he doesn't play for the Wallabies or rugby in Australia again?
You would think so, and the answer is where to now. Rugby League aren't interested in him. He could go to French rugby and Japanese rugby.
I've got some more mail that he did this on purpose because he's desperate to get back to the Giants.
He
just misses that.
They're going well now, the Giants. So
crying out for a forward at the moment, aren't they?
It's a hugely divisive issue.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I thought his defence was weak. He went in there saying, they weren't my words, they were the Bible's words, but when you've been warned about 4 times and you post that, I'm sorry, that's just inflammatory. That was just going to burn the building down.
Do you know, the interesting point for me was that they offered the go-away money, didn't they? Right at the last minute. Here's $1 million, please go away, so this sport can be saved here and it's not going to cost us $10 to $12 million in debt over the next year or so. So why would he have thought, no, I don't want to take that money? Either he's greedy and he thought he had a good chance and wants $4 million, or he's trying to be a martyr.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Look, in terms of what is going to happen now, there's been talk that some of the Pacific Islander players who are deeply religious like him hold those beliefs quite fervently. Their backing is obviously, and perhaps are concerned with the Rugby Australia stand. How is that going to go?
Yeah, look, but there's a different level, I reckon. Samu Karevi up in Queensland, he paid tribute to God on Easter Sunday, and then, that created a bit of an issue. They are giving him support, and they're very religious, no doubt about that, but they are a long, long, long way away from any sort of formal protest or anything like that, because this has got a long way to go, the story. So until we know the final result, I don't think there's going to be any militant action.
But it goes without saying that Michael Cheika's got this enormous task to repair relationships within that Wallabies team 5 months out from a World Cup. When you consider, Taniela Tupou was tweeting, you might as well sack us all.
Yep.
David Pocock refused to get married until same-sex marriage was legalised.
Yes, indeed.
And you've got Will Genia who's saying, Israel Folau's spreading hate, so, I can't play with him again.
Well, Crash, you mentioned that his defence being it wasn't his words, it was the words of the Bible. Since we're quoting Bible passages, we shouldn't forget Leviticus 19:28.
Never do.
As you can see there, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. I'm not, but that's what the Bible says. Yeah. So, there, right there, he's got something to have a think about, hasn't he?
He has too. Quite provocatively, Tony.
Does Bethlehem have a team? Are they in the European Pro League? Play for them.
Where do you think that the public sits on this? I felt his position was just untenable in the end. But it sort of swung around a bit over the last couple of weeks, didn't it? Alan Jones was very militant in his support of Folau.
Being freedom of speech.
Yeah, but if you put a Folau story on a website, you would get hundreds of comments within a few hours. The interest in this is extraordinary. Brad, what do you make of it?
I suppose the players now, the social media aspect of it, you can have your beliefs, but don't put it out. Don't need to put it out there publicly. Just live the way that you want to live, and that's your way. Go and enjoy your life doing that and play the sport you love. Now he's gone forever. He's probably going to be, go overseas to play sport now, and we've lost Israel Folau, one of the best players of all time, for what he's done.
See, any argument you want can take an opposite side. You can say you can't have them in rugby league. Oh no, but we've got blokes who have had home invasions and threatened kids. They can play on, but he can't play on for quoting the Bible. So it's such a complex issue.
What sort of damage are those rugby league players, though, doing to the next generation coming through? And we've spoken about it before. Israel Folau, that's so highly offensive, and what it does to young kids that are confused and trying to find out more about themselves. It just sends such a horrible message.
A real defining moment was when Ian Roberts came out the other day and said, look, I'm not trying to bag the bloke or anything, but I'm just saying that kids are committing suicide as they struggle with their sexuality. Think about it.
Yeah, just repeating, so a serious breach of his contract is what has been, we've discovered this evening.